My beloved child, don't skip this message. Listen carefully because what you are about to hear may arrive at exactly the right moment. There are times in life when people become so focused on what they lack that they stop noticing the opportunities quietly moving toward them. They become discouraged by delays, disappointed by setbacks, and exhausted from waiting. Yet sometimes the biggest changes begin long before they become visible. Stay till the end because something important is being revealed, and what happens next could change the way you look at your financial future. For a long time, you have been carrying concerns about money. You have watched expenses grow. You have worried about bills, responsibilities, and obligations. You have wondered when things would finally become easier. There were moments when you checked your account hoping for good news and found only frustration. Moments when you worked hard but felt as though progress was moving too slowly. Moments when you questioned whether your efforts would ever be rewarded. Yet through all of it, you kept going. You kept trying. You kept believing that a better season was possible. Listen carefully because this changes everything. Financial breakthroughs rarely arrive exactly the way people expect. Many imagine a sudden miracle appearing out of nowhere. But often, positive change begins with opportunities, ideas, connections, and decisions that gradually create new possibilities. The person who succeeds financially is often the person who remains alert when opportunities appear. They stay prepared. They stay focused. They remain willing to act when the right door opens. There is a reason this message found you today. Perhaps you have been feeling restless lately. Perhaps you have been thinking more seriously about your future. Perhaps you have been searching for a new opportunity, a better strategy, or a fresh direction. If so, do not ignore those feelings. Sometimes the desire for change is the first sign that growth is approaching. Sometimes before circumstances improve, perspective improves first. Stay till the end because what happened next changed everything. There comes a moment when preparation meets opportunity. A moment when the skills you developed, the lessons you learned, and the effort you invested begin producing results. Many people give up just before that moment arrives. They stop believing. They stop looking. They stop trying. But those who remain persistent often discover that the breakthrough was much closer than they imagined. My beloved child, Heaven wants you to understand something important. Your future is not determined solely by your current bank balance. It is not determined by yesterday's setbacks. It is not determined by mistakes you made in the past. Your future is shaped by the choices you make moving forward, the opportunities you recognize, and the wisdom you apply along the way. What looks impossible today may become possible tomorrow through persistence, learning, and action. Listen carefully because this next revelation is powerful. There may be opportunities approaching that you have not yet noticed. A conversation. A new skill. A business idea. A job opportunity. A partnership. A solution to a problem that others have overlooked. Financial growth often begins when people become open to possibilities that were not visible before. That is why staying alert matters. That is why continuing to learn matters. That is why refusing to quit matters. For some, the breakthrough will come through a promotion. For others, through a new source of income. For others, through a wise decision that prevents future losses. The form may differ, but the principle remains the same. Progress happens when preparation and opportunity meet. That is why this season is not a time for hopelessness. It is a time for readiness. Stay till the end because this changes everything. The greatest financial transformation is not only about receiving money. It is about developing the mindset, discipline, and wisdom necessary to manage opportunities when they arrive. Many people focus on receiving more but forget the importance of becoming ready for more. Heaven is reminding you that growth happens both around you and within you. There were times when you felt discouraged. Times when nothing seemed to improve. Times when you wondered if your hard work would ever pay off. Yet every lesson you learned has value. Every challenge has taught something. Every setback has strengthened your understanding. Those experiences were not wasted. They were preparing you for future opportunities. Listen carefully. This is not a promise that money will magically appear overnight. It is a reminder that positive change is possible. It is a reminder that opportunities often arrive when people least expect them. It is a reminder to remain prepared, hopeful, and focused. The future is still being written, and there may be possibilities ahead that you cannot currently see. And here is the good news. This story does not end with lack. It does not end with frustration. It does not end with fear. It moves toward growth. It moves toward learning. It moves toward opportunity. It moves toward the possibility of building a stronger future through wisdom, persistence, and action. One day, you may look back at this season and realize it was the moment you stopped focusing only on limitations and started recognizing possibilities. So keep moving forward, my beloved child. Stay alert. Stay hopeful. Continue learning. Continue preparing. Continue believing that better opportunities can appear. Because the next chapter of your financial journey has not been written yet. And if you remain ready when opportunity knocks, what comes next may surprise you in the most beautiful way. My beloved child, don't skip this message. Listen carefully because the story is not over. In fact, what heaven is revealing now is even more important than what came before. There are seasons when nothing seems to change, and then there are seasons when everything begins moving at once. Many people miss their opportunity because they become discouraged during the waiting period. They assume that because they cannot see progress, progress is not happening. But stay till the end, because what is happening behind the scenes may be preparing you for a breakthrough you never expected. For months, maybe even years, you have carried financial concerns that nobody fully understands. You smiled when others were watching, but deep inside you worried about the future. You calculated expenses repeatedly. You wondered how certain situations would be resolved. You asked yourself whether things would ever become easier. Yet despite the pressure, you continued moving forward. You continued showing up. You continued trying. What heaven wants you to know is that persistence has value even when results are not immediately visible. Listen carefully because this changes everything. Many people think a financial breakthrough begins with money appearing. But often it begins with awareness. It begins when a person suddenly notices an opportunity they would have ignored before. It begins when a new idea enters their mind. It begins when they meet the right person, learn the right skill, or make the right decision at the right time. These moments seem small in the beginning, but they often become the foundation of much larger changes. There is something shifting within you. You may have noticed it already. You are thinking differently than before. You are becoming more aware of possibilities. You are questioning old habits. You are becoming more intentional about your future. These changes matter. They are signs of growth. And growth often appears internally before it becomes visible externally. Stay till the end because what happened next changed everything. A door that once seemed closed suddenly opened. A conversation that appeared ordinary created a new opportunity. A decision that seemed small produced unexpected results. This is how many breakthroughs happen. They do not always arrive with dramatic announcements. They often arrive quietly, disguised as simple opportunities that only prepared people recognize. My beloved child, heaven wants you to understand something important. Fear has been trying to convince you that nothing will improve. Fear has been reminding you of every setback, every disappointment, and every delay. But fear is not a reliable guide. Fear focuses on obstacles. Faith focuses on possibilities. Wisdom acknowledges challenges while still remaining open to opportunity. That is the mindset heaven is encouraging you to embrace. Listen carefully because this next revelation is powerful. There may be resources around you that you have not fully appreciated. Skills you possess. Knowledge you have gained. Relationships you have built. Experiences you have survived. These things have value. Sometimes the answer people are searching for is already closer than they realize. Sometimes the breakthrough begins when they recognize the tools already placed in their hands. There were moments when you thought certain struggles were pointless. Moments when you wondered why life felt so difficult. But many of those experiences taught lessons that cannot be learned any other way. They taught resilience. They taught discipline. They taught patience. They taught problem solving. Those lessons are becoming part of the foundation for what comes next. Stay till the end because this changes everything. Heaven reveals that your future is not limited by your current circumstances. Today's situation is not tomorrow's destiny. The challenges you face now are not permanent definitions of who you are or what you can achieve. Circumstances change. Opportunities appear. New paths emerge. The future contains possibilities that you cannot yet see from where you stand. My beloved child, this message is also a reminder to remain wise. Be careful with your decisions. Learn before you leap. Research before you invest. Think before you commit. Not every opportunity is the right opportunity. Discernment is just as important as optimism. A strong future is built through both hope and wisdom working together. And here is the encouraging truth heaven wants you to hear tonight. The waiting season is not wasted. The lessons were not wasted. The effort was not wasted. Every step has been preparing you for something greater. Whether that breakthrough comes through a new opportunity, a new connection, a new skill, or a new direction, your story is still unfolding. So do not let discouragement have the final word. Do not let temporary struggles convince you that lasting success is impossible. Keep learning. Keep preparing. Keep believing that positive change can happen. Because what seems like a slow season today may one day be remembered as the season that prepared you for everything that came next. But the biggest revelation is still ahead. In the next chapter, Heaven reveals the hidden shift already taking place behind the scenes, the reason certain delays happened when they did, and the powerful opportunity that may be closer than you think. Stay till the end. The best part of this story is still waiting to be told. My beloved child, don't skip this part. Listen carefully because the message is reaching a powerful turning point. Up until now, you have been focused on what you can see. The numbers, the bills, the delays, the responsibilities, and the challenges that seem to stand in front of you. But heaven is revealing something important. Some of the most significant changes in life begin long before they become visible. Stay till the end because what is happening behind the scenes may explain why certain doors closed, why certain plans were delayed, and why your story is not ending where you thought it would. For a long time, it felt as if progress was moving too slowly. You worked hard, but the results did not always match the effort. You stayed hopeful, but some opportunities slipped away. You waited for answers, but silence often arrived instead. There were moments when disappointment tried to convince you that nothing would ever change. Yet despite everything, you continued moving forward. That persistence matters more than you realize. Many people quit during the very season that is preparing them for their next opportunity. Listen carefully because this changes everything. Heaven reveals that some delays were not punishments. Some delays were preparation. Certain opportunities arrived before you were ready for them. Certain doors closed because they would have led you away from something better. At the time, those moments felt frustrating. They felt unfair. They felt like setbacks. But looking back, you may eventually realize that some of the things you lost were actually protecting you from bigger problems down the road. There is a shift taking place within you right now. You are beginning to think differently. You are becoming more aware of your strengths. You are becoming more intentional with your choices. You are becoming less willing to settle for situations that no longer serve your future. These internal changes are important because lasting breakthroughs often begin on the inside before they appear on the outside. Stay till the end because what happened next changed everything. An opportunity appeared where nobody expected one. What looked like an ordinary conversation became a valuable connection. What seemed like a small decision created a new path forward. This is how life often works. The biggest changes do not always announce themselves. They arrive quietly, disguised as simple moments that only reveal their importance later. My beloved child, Heaven wants you to remember that your value is not determined by the current balance in your account. Money is a tool, not an identity. Financial challenges can create stress, but they do not define your worth. Your creativity, your determination, your resilience, your willingness to learn, these qualities are often far more important than people realize. They are the qualities that help people recover, rebuild, and grow. Listen carefully because this next revelation is powerful. There may be an opportunity approaching that requires courage. It may ask you to step outside your comfort zone. It may require learning something new. It may require trusting your abilities more than you have in the past. At first, it may not look like the answer you have been waiting for. In fact, it may appear small. But many great opportunities begin as small possibilities that grow over time. There are people listening to this message who have been praying for a sign. They have been asking whether they should keep going, whether they should continue believing, whether they should continue preparing. Heaven's answer is simple: do not stop now. You have learned too much to quit. You have grown too much to give up. You have survived too much to surrender your future to fear. Stay till the end, because this changes everything. The breakthrough you seek is not only about finances. It is also about confidence. It is about becoming the kind of person who recognizes opportunity when it arrives. It is about developing the wisdom to make good decisions and the courage to act on them. The greatest transformation often happens when a person stops waiting to be rescued and starts recognizing the possibilities already within reach. My beloved child, there will come a day when you look back at this season differently. The delays will make more sense. The lessons will become clearer. The challenges will reveal their purpose. You will see how every obstacle taught something valuable. You will see how every setback strengthened you. You will see how every difficult moment prepared you for opportunities you could not have handled before. And here is the encouraging truth heaven wants you to hear tonight. The story is not ending in lack. It is not ending in frustration. It is not ending in hopelessness. The story is moving toward growth, wisdom, opportunity, and new possibilities. The future is still being written, and there are chapters ahead that you cannot yet see. But the greatest revelation is still waiting. In the final chapter, heaven reveals how persistence turns into progress, how preparation turns into opportunity, and how the lessons from this season can lead to a future filled with purpose, stability, and unexpected blessings. Stay till the end, my beloved child, because the most hopeful part of this story is still to come. My beloved child, if you have stayed until this moment, then listen carefully. This is the chapter where the message comes together. The waiting, the uncertainty, the financial worries, the unanswered questions, and the long nights spent wondering when things would finally improve have all led to this point. Stay till the end, because the ending of this story is not about fear. It is not about loss. It is about hope, growth, wisdom, and the realization that your journey is far from over. For so long, you focused on what was missing. You counted the obstacles. You measured the delays. You worried about the challenges standing in front of you. That is understandable. Life can feel overwhelming when responsibilities keep growing and answers seem slow to arrive. But now heaven is asking you to look at the bigger picture. Look at how far you have come. Look at the lessons you have learned. Look at the strength you have developed. You survived seasons that once felt impossible. You overcame challenges that once kept you awake at night. You are stronger than you realize. Listen carefully, because this changes everything. The breakthrough you have been searching for is not just about money appearing in your account. It is about becoming prepared for greater opportunities. It is about becoming wiser with decisions. It is about recognizing possibilities where you once saw only problems. Financial growth is not simply something that happens to a person. It is often something that happens through a person as they learn, grow, adapt, and take action. There were moments when you felt forgotten. Moments when it seemed like everyone else was moving ahead while you remained stuck. Moments when disappointment whispered that nothing would ever change. Yet every challenge was teaching you something valuable. Patience. Discipline. Resilience. Creativity. Problem solving. These lessons may not have felt like blessings at the time, but they were preparing you for future opportunities that require exactly those qualities. Stay till the end because what happened next changed everything. One day, the person who refused to quit began seeing results. Not because luck suddenly appeared, but because preparation finally met opportunity. The skills they developed became useful. The connections they built became valuable. The lessons they learned helped them make better decisions. What looked like a slow season suddenly revealed itself as a preparation season. My beloved child, heaven wants you to understand that your story is still being written. Today's circumstances are not the final chapter. Your current bank balance is not your permanent identity. The setbacks you experienced are not the definition of your future. New opportunities can appear. New paths can open. New solutions can emerge. Life has a way of changing when people remain open, prepared, and willing to act. Listen carefully because this next revelation is powerful. There may come a moment very soon when you are presented with a choice. A chance to learn something new. A chance to take a step forward. A chance to pursue an opportunity that once seemed beyond reach. When that moment arrives, do not let fear make the decision for you. Let wisdom guide you. Let preparation support you. Let confidence remind you of everything you have already overcome. There are people listening to this message who have spent too much time doubting themselves. Too much time focusing on limitations. Too much time believing that their past mistakes disqualified them from future success. Heaven is reminding you tonight that growth is always possible. New beginnings are always possible. Better decisions are always possible. A stronger future is always possible. Stay till the end because this changes everything. The greatest blessing hidden within this journey is not the money itself. It is the person you have become. You are more resilient. More experienced. More aware. More capable. Those qualities will continue serving you long after any single financial opportunity comes and goes. They are assets that nobody can take away. My beloved child, the future may not unfold exactly the way you imagined. Sometimes it unfolds even better. Sometimes opportunities arrive through unexpected doors. Sometimes solutions appear from unexpected directions. Sometimes the very thing you were worried about becomes the reason you discover a new path forward. That is why hope matters. That is why persistence matters. That is why preparation matters. And here is the good ending heaven wants you to hear tonight. This story does not end with lack. It does not end with anxiety. It does not end with disappointment. It moves toward growth. It moves toward opportunity. It moves toward wisdom. It moves toward the possibility of a stronger and more stable future. The waiting season will not last forever. The lessons will not be wasted. The effort will not be forgotten. One day, you may look back on this chapter and realize that the breakthrough was never just about what entered your bank account. It was about what entered your mind. Greater confidence. Greater wisdom. Greater discipline. Greater awareness. Those changes became the foundation for everything that followed. So keep moving forward, my beloved child. Keep learning. Keep preparing. Keep believing that new opportunities can appear. Refuse to let temporary setbacks convince you that lasting success is impossible. The future is still unfolding. New doors can still open. Better days can still arrive. The ending of this story is not fear. The ending is hope. The ending is not scarcity. The ending is growth. The ending is not defeat. The ending is resilience. And as this chapter closes, heaven's message is simple: remain faithful, remain prepared, and remain open to opportunity. Because the most beautiful financial breakthrough is not merely receiving more, it is becoming ready for more. And your next chapter may be brighter than you ever imagined.